morning, good evening. Welcome to this very first Bright Talk webinar that I'm presenting in 2012. Thank you so much for either Ale, this is for you, getting out of bed really early. I know you're on there, so thank you so much. My name is Ivanka Menken. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called The Art of Service, based in Brisbane, Australia. And today I'm going to have a chat with you on the modern service desk. It really is a collection of thoughts and ideas and just stuff that I see out there in relation to service desk and the service desk experiences that I personally really enjoy, and of course also the service desk experiences that I, as the modern woman, don't enjoy. First of all, it's a 45-minute time slot that we have, so that'll be the webinar itself as well as some questions and answers. If there are any questions after the 45 minutes, and I'm sure you have many questions after the 45 minutes, our Facebook page, so facebook.com/The Art of Service, and that's one word. Feel free to chat over there, ask the questions, or send me an email. I'm always engaging with our clients and with people out there, so feel free, ask as many questions as you want. Or if you just want to start a debate, I just love that. It's just, that's how I learn. And you know, I keep saying every day is a school day, and this morning actually I heard on the radio that schooling and education is quite differently, so maybe I should change my slogan to every day is an education opportunity. This is just one of them. So let's have a look at our slide. Think about this. Just step back, just read the slide, think about it. Are you making choices based on the past? Or are you making choices based on the future? What is it? And think about it this way. When you drive your car, do you drive your car by looking in the rear view mirror? Or do you drive your car by looking forward, looking out of your front window? Is it a good strategy? Is it a safe strategy to sit in your car and just constantly look at, behind you as to what's been happening in the past? And that's the reason why I put this question up here. Are you making choices based on the past, or are you making choices based on the future? Because I find in a lot of business scenarios, we make decisions based on the past. We have our metrics, we have our measurements, we have our reports, but that's all about stuff that has happened. That is stuff that happened in the past. And those are the measurements and metrics and reports we utilize to make decisions about what's going to happen with us in the future. How are we going to set up a service desk? What are we going to do in the service desk or at the help desk? How are we going to interact with customers? How are we going to deal with customer complaints and positive feedback from clients? We make those decisions based on past results, not the future. So if we think about that, if we were to reinvent our ideal service desk and not looking in the rearview mirror, not looking backwards, not thinking about what has happened in the past, what changes would you make? You, sitting there listening to this webinar, you, the expert in your field. You have a gut feeling about what's going to happen. You know what's going on in your industry. What change would you make about your service desk? What will be your ideal scenario? Would there even be a service desk at all? And I know that's a bit of a controversial and maybe a scary thing to consider, but would you even employ people to be at the service desk? Looking out in your front window, looking ahead of you as to what is coming at you in this busy traffic that we call our working life. So, what is happening in the world today? I actually was at a presentation from a couple of futurists, and I keep saying it, I'm such a lucky girl. I meet all these really amazing people. And these futurists, they were telling that there are more people in the world, globally, there are more people that have access to mobile phones than clean toilets. Think about that one. More people have access to a phone. And to be honest, in my travels, especially in the US, I don't know what it's like in Europe at the moment, but when I traveled through the US over the last couple of years, and my husband can vouch for this, I came back and I went, everybody is on their mobile phone or cell phone. Everybody is talking in a phone. Everybody is constantly doing business on the go. They don't stop. They don't do email. Well, if you do email, you do it by mobile phone. What impact does mobile technology have on our business? What impact does mobile technology have on the way we interact with our customers and how we provide support? The other thing that I found was that the Android phone systems is on the verge of, or has already happened, overtaking iPhones. So a lot of people have smartphones, internet connected phones. They don't want to wait for a person. They don't want to go and call somebody up. They're on the internet. They want it and they want support now. So that is something to really take into consideration. The other thing that is happening out there in the normal world, as opposed to the business world, onboard diagnostics. I mean, if we can have these things in our car, onboard diagnostics, where a system, a computer in your car proactively tells you what's going on in your car and that you need to book in for a new service because something's going to happen in the next, 300 kilometers or miles that you're driving, wouldn't you pay attention? And if this type of technology is available, and for those of you who were at Fusion 11 last year, remember that Futurist at one of the keynotes, he actually talked about smart materials, smart asphalt on the roads, or bitumen, or whatever you call it, actually communicating with your tires of your car, telling your car about the road conditions, whether or not it was slippery or wet or there was snow on the ground, automatically communicating with your car so that your car could automatically adjust the braking and the steering and all that sort of stuff to prevent accidents. I mean, these are just examples, but think about if this is the technology that is available out there, wouldn't we use that in our business as well? So that's, like I said, just some observations. And while we're on the topic of Fusion, which is ITSMF and HDI, those of you that are Prism members, don't forget to put in your CDP points, because you're watching this webinar and you've earned, or you're in the process of earning a point, so don't forget to put that in for your Prism. Somebody is mentioning that my voice is being repeated twice. Can you please confirm that that is still the case? Because I'm on a normal phone and I'm not calling in through the computer, so I'm not quite sure what's happening there. So I don't know who said that there's something wrong with the audio system, but if you can please confirm whether or not that is still the case, please do so, because listening to everything in echo is a bit awkward. Remember those olden days where you had to call from Europe to Australia and you had to sort of wait for 3 seconds because the sound had to travel? Yeah, no, I'm getting confirmation that it is happening. It's all right. Audio is happening fine for most people. So, yeah, let's keep going. Within the business, so we know everybody's on mobile phones, more people have access to mobile phones and clean toilets, so that's all happening out there, and our technology is increasingly improving and getting smarter and smarter. What are the business expectations? Are we expecting more from our technology, or do we even think about technology? What is the goal? What is the business expectation? Well, to be honest, you know what? it's pretty much the same as what it always was. Business expectation is, I want a return on my investment. I want business processes to be key, because those are the processes that I make money with. Those are the processes that I interact with our customers with or through. Productivity, innovation. If you don't innovate, you die. So that is my focus as a business person. Keep going, keep pushing forward. I want stability, I want control, I want governance, I want audit trails, I want shareholder happiness. That is really what the business expects. Do they think about IT? Well, unless you're an IT company, then you probably do. But most business people, I think IT is a given for a lot of these organizations and for a lot of people out there. So you don't really think about, oh, I need IT to make this happen. No, it's just, it's out there. You know, if it works on my phone, why shouldn't it work in business? See those little blue blobs on the bottom right? Those are actually bacteria. One of the other things that I heard about, I think it's 2010 already that this happened. The Craig Venter Institute, they created a bacteria that has a computer system as their mummy and daddy. So with that in mind, if you can create bacteria that are partially made from computer systems and you are in the medical industry, can you really talk about the separation between business and IT? Is that even a valid option? So is IT really different from the business? And yes, I know there's a lot of ITIL people out there listening to this presentation, and there's a lot of ITIL evangelists out there, and guilty as charged, I'm one of them, that always are harping on about, but we need to work on business to IT alignment, and we need to work on integration of IT in the business. You know, maybe we've already passed that station. Maybe the business doesn't even consider IT to be a separate component anymore. Have we even thought about that? And when you think about that, what does that mean to the service desk? Because after all, this is a service desk talk. This is not a talk about an IT organizational chart or how to set a strategy for IT. But this is important. This is important because if the business considers IT to be part of the overall business organization, why do we almost artificially try to keep IT and the business as separate entities? Just some food for thought. Just think about that one. Before we go further on, because I just want you to ponder on this a little, there are two questions. GE is spending $1 billion on getting all their engines to talk via the internet on their errors. They seem to think that's the way to go for their business. Interesting tying with your onboard diagnostic device. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. And isn't it Google that is doing the driverless car? You know, technology is getting so smart. So don't look in the rearview mirror. Don't think about IT the way we used to think about IT in the 90s or the 80s. Things are changing faster and faster and faster. Don't get stuck in the rearview mirror. I know I keep repeating that, but that's an important one. Keep looking forward. That's where the action happens. The other question, interesting one, why do we still need ITIL? Isn't ITIL slowing us down? Really good question. And I will answer that one a little bit later on in the presentation because I actually have a few slides on that one. So hold on, hang on for that one. I'm not answering it yet. I'm just keeping the suspense a little bit. Okay. This little picture on the left I found and it made me giggle. You know, if how old would she be? 3, maybe 4. If a 3-year-old uses technology, it has to be intuitive. If a 3-year-old uses technology, it has to be simple to use. Granted, she won't be programming the next quantum computing scenario. She's probably consuming IT. but how many people in the business are actively creating stuff, and how many people in the business are consuming IT products? So when we talk about our service desk and how we need to deliver services to our customers, they are consuming IT. And shouldn't the consumption of business IT be just as intuitive as consumer IT? But look on the right. I mean, yes, it looks colorful with red and blue on the wall and all that sort of stuff, but does it look as intuitive as the girl on the left? So again, looking forward, this is the generation of business managers, this is the generation of business people that we are going to deliver services to in the next 20, 30, 40 years. Look forward. What are these clients, what are they going to expect from a service desk? Don't look back and don't think about, oh, you know, but we used to do with this. No, what is she going to expect from customer service? What level of support is normal for her? What is it that she wants? So that's what you need to think about, and that is looking at consumer expectations. That is looking out of your window, looking forward to what the service desk, what the modern service desk or the modern help desk or the modern call center, what does that look like? Okay, we're all consumers. You know, some of us consume a little bit more than others, but we all know what it's like to be a consumer. We all know what it's like to purchase something and have the thrill of the new product, the new software. I mean, my finance manager, he's gone crazy. He goes like, oh, Yvonne, please stop buying software. And I go like, but it can do this and it can do that. And he goes like, the fact that it's available doesn't mean you have to buy it. And I go like, but all the opportunities and all the possibilities and all the business opportunities that we can create by utilizing this bit of software. And he just goes, that's a tactical thing, that's operational. Do not just purchase stuff because it's shiny. But it is the crux of what we do. It is the crux of us being consumers. It is important to understand what we as consumers feel, what emotions we feel. I mean, how many of you have an iPhone 4S? How many of you are so excited to play with Siri? I mean, I'm not, because I have a funny accent, so she goes like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying, Anger. So for me it doesn't work, so that's, not so good example. But for a lot of people it does work, and that's how we want to interact with our technology. That's what we want to do. We want technology to interact with us. We just want the thing in the palm of our hand and be able to talk to it and for the machine to talk back. And she can do that. I mean, yes, we know it's artificial intelligence, but she can. So if Apple can create something like that for a mobile phone, which is something you can keep in your hand, what opportunities does that give us as service desk people, as IT professionals? What opportunities does technology like that give us? How can we utilize artificial intelligence in the way we communicate with our clients? Again, think about that. Would we want a server rack potentially? I'm sure, this happens already. A server rack communicating through event logs and all that sort of stuff with self-help applications so that you can diagnose what's happening, you can forecast what's going to happen, you know exactly when it's going to be full or broken. There are so many opportunities out there. There's so many things you can do. How can we use this and make our engagement with IT more intuitive? How can we utilize this and make the IT profession fun again? that people are proud to be IT professionals, and that service desk people are proud to be service desk employees, because, you know, this is the cool stuff we work with, and this is how we interact with our customers. Okay, so we keep having issues with sound going on and off, so I really do apologize for that. I am recording it separately, so if you do have issues with the sound and you're missing bits and pieces, just send me an email and I'll send you the full file. So, next slide. Online sales. Remember my finance manager who told me off for constantly buying stuff? I do all that sort of stuff online. At 9 o'clock in the morning, I just get there, or at 3 o'clock in the morning, I just go online and I just buy things. And if that's an instant download, I want it to be instantaneously. I want instant gratification. If my system doesn't work, and this usually happens at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, when you're frantically trying to create a presentation for your Bright Talk webinar, and Marina is constantly chasing you, like, where's your presentation, where's your presentation? Of course, this is highly hypothetical. At that point in time, Murphy's Law, something goes wrong. But I want instant gratification, I want instant support, because in my world, in my online world, I am number one. In my world, I am the one that needs to be served now. So instant gratification is not just at the customer purchase side. Instant gratification is also at the support side, the support desk, the customer service component, the engagement with your customers via a call center or whatever type of methodology you use. The help you provide to your customer has to be instantaneously, because that's the world we live in. We want it now. No ifs, buts or maybes. That's the way the world turns. So we don't want this. I don't want to stand in line feeling like somebody who needs to have a handout, like, please give me service, please give me support. You don't want to have that feeling, because remember, we're emotional creatures. Some of us more emotional than others. Granted, you know, a lot of us are quite rational, but deep down inside, we are still human beings, and we want to feel important, and we want to feel loved. Standing in line for a service desk doesn't make you feel loved. There are 25 callers in front of you. Doesn't make you feel special. I don't want to get a help desk ticket. I don't want to know that within 24 hours your support ticket will be processed. I don't care. I want it, and I want it now. I do not care. Remember, we're talking consumers here. And yes, I understand that there's an IT department behind that, and there's people that are really busy, and I understand all that. I don't care. Do I need to go back to the slide before? See that one? Instant gratification. That's what I want, because I'm the cool dude, and I have this thing that needs to be finished, and I want support now. And it's normal. That's what people are like. Okay. Somebody asked a question or a comment. When I look at my kids and how they interact with online services and products and what their expectations are, I feel we have a long way to go before we are there, meaning in the it just works Apple arena. How can a service desk help us with that, or don't we need that at all? Good question. It depends on how you define a service desk. When you look in your rearview mirror and look at what did a service desk used to look like, if you look in your rearview mirror and go like, what kind of service, how did we used to do that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago? Yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen, because you're right, your kids, they expect more. Your kids expect it now. So we have a long way to go. The modern service desk is not the same as the old one. I don't want the service desk to slow me down. I want to talk to somebody now. Live chat is an amazing methodology to do that. And I know a lot of service desk people out there, they already use it. And a lot of companies use it quite successfully. Not just as part of their sales process, but also as part of your customer service processes. I just purchased this product and it doesn't work, or I don't understand how it works, or I can't get it to work. So rather than getting grumpy, you have a pop-up that says, would you like to chat with us? Of course. And yes, that can be a person behind the live chat, but you can also, think Siri, automate that. How can I help you? There's artificial intelligence, there's artificial voice recognition, text to voice, all that sort of stuff. It's out there. It's not expensive. Cost is not prohibitive anymore. We just need to be creative and put ourselves, empathize with our customers, empathize with our business users. What is it that people want? What is it that, how do they want to communicate with you? Live chat, instantaneously, instant gratification, always works. The other thing, and I know a lot of people are talking about this, is using social media, or the new media, which is not so new anymore, but using these types of tools as a customer service tool and as a help desk tool. I mean, be honest, when you have an issue, whether it's at work or in your private life with your IT components, what's the first thing you do? You do a Google search. 9 out of 10 times you come to a Wikipedia page. So it's actually, quite ironic we do this presentation today with Wikipedia having their blackout day today. Just imagine, what would Google be like without Wikipedia? Hooray for Quora. But 9 out of 10 searches end up in Wikipedia. So having an online database with knowledge out there it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. And that's where most people go in the first instance. Then, if you're really on a professional type thing and you want to know something about, I don't know, ITIL or cloud computing, or you have more of a generic question, you may check your LinkedIn Q&A or LinkedIn groups that you're part of. You can ask your friends on Facebook or your colleagues to the left and the right of you. Without sounding really dumb, you might actually send a tweet out. And if you really have no other options, you might call the service desk. And I know this is an exaggeration, but honestly, think about it. That's what we do, isn't it? We go all the other routes first, and then if nothing else happens, we call the service desk. So social, we had live chat, we had social interaction with our clients. That's what we do first. Okay, another question. Why isn't self-service and self-help integrated in every product or service I purchase yet? So I won't need a help desk at all. I, as a consumer, would prefer a world without a need for help desks at all. Or is this the way we are heading? Well, again, it depends on how you define a service desk. Because when you have an artificial intelligence, text-to-voice recognition, where you have all your knowledge pages, you write all your scripts, you do all that sort of stuff, that is still a help desk. That is still a service desk. It's just a different interaction. The self-help component of the service desk is a lot more important than the other way. What about our investment in service desks and help desks? Their systems and the people's, they are all based on first line support. There will always be people who want a human interaction. There will always be people who want that first line support. I have a few slides on that later on, but basically you touch on the two different types of help desk. You have the self-service help desk, and then you have the concierge-style help desk. We're still going to need both, just in a slightly different way than what we currently think about when we think about a help desk. Okay. Case study. Remember how one of the viewers just mentioned about his kids being, Apple addicts, basically. My 10-year-old boy, he loves computer games. Wonder why. So he spends a lot of time on his, I don't know what they call it, Nintendo DS, PS3, the computer. He does a lot of computer games as well, Minecraft, Zelda. Every time when he gets stuck and he needs a service desk request, he doesn't call the help desk number. He doesn't go to your standard. He doesn't even look for wiki pages. He doesn't look for text-based support. He goes to YouTube. Because there's somebody out there who has put a user manual or a walkthrough or a sequence explanation type video on YouTube. That's his first protocol. And I deliberately stop here for a few seconds because his 10-year-old brain thinks video before text. So how can we, as a service desk, with our trained IT professionals, how can we use that knowledge that this 10-year-old boy, who's extremely smart, of course, because it's my boy, looks after his daddy, but how can this 10-year-old boy, he's going to be the business person that we're dealing with in 10, 15 years from now. What kind of service desk support will he choose? It'll be video-based. It won't be text-based. It will be instantaneously, because I'm doing a task now and I need support now. So there will be the need for that first-line support, but not in the way we currently think about it. So it may not even be voice, because, if you want to talk to your friends and ask questions to your friend, he's telling me off. I just walk in his room or wherever he's doing his computer games, and he goes, "Shh, Mummy, I'm on a 3-way Skype conference call with such and such and such and such, and we're battling this." But it's all voice over IP. Nothing goes via the normal phone, and that's normal. That's their normal way of interacting. So what can we learn from that? Looking out the front window of our car, what can we learn from this experience? And how can we, the modern service desk people, how can we set up our service desk to be right on target when this group of people becomes our customers? So, I'm in a hurry. I'm an important business person. I want top-notch service. What do I want? I don't want to have to think about it. Initially, because I want that instant gratification, I may use live chat, or I may do a quick Google search, but you know what, it's all too hard. I'll get my PA to do that, or my assistant, or my secretary, but they're not around at 10 o'clock at night, because, they have a personal life. So what do you do in a hotel? You go to a concierge. Get me the best restaurant. Get me the best theatre tickets. Yeah, you're going to pay for that, but hey, it's going to be good, right? That's what you use your concierge services for. The thing with concierge services is that it's all built around discipline and trust. The concierge service in a hotel or restaurant, they need to have processes in place to ensure that the level of service delivered to your customers is of a continuous standard. It is a sustained level of services. It's always available. When your customers need it, it's there. You need to have enough capacity to offer this concierge service. The concierges themselves, they need to have the right level of skills. not just technical skills, not just knowledge about the stuff that's happening out there in this particular city. No, they need to have the skills to deal with you and to understand you. I don't know who asked that ITIL question earlier before, but I'm sure you recognize some of the terminology in here. Oh, and by the way, did you read the slide? Nice day, bad concierge. Disappointed, bad concierge service. Nice hotel, bad concierge. So when you have a concierge service, you only get a first chance to make a good impression. So your training and your investment in the people that you use for this level of service has to be top notch. You need A players. You don't need people that just do stuff. No, they need to know what they're talking about, and they need to be on their game. They need to know what they're doing, because you do not get a second chance. Okay, some questions. I love all these questions. Bring them on. This is good. I like it. Okay, why isn't self-service and self-help integrated in it? Oh, we just did that one. We already talked about that one. The service desk or help desk has been getting fantastic traction because of ITIL for many, many years. But when I look at the HDI annual conference for the 2012 Gaylord Dallas, for instance, there's much less and less emphasis on ITIL. Is ITIL past its prime, or is it integrated in all that we do these days? What are your thoughts? The $24 million question. I think I already just answered that one. ITIL has to be integrated in everything you do in back of house. ITIL has to be integrated in everything that you do. You know, that's your ticket to the game. However, there is a reason why I said in my marketing blurb about this presentation, ITIL misses the boat. And I'll tell you why. Jack Welch. If change is happening on the outside faster than on the inside, the end is in sight. I could also put in a quote which, you know, allegedly is by Albert Einstein. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that's called insanity. So if you put those two quotes together and think about ITIL, yeah, you probably get a fair idea why ITIL misses the boat. The processes are important, absolutely. ITIL as a framework is your ticket to the game, and I keep repeating that. ITIL is not the be-all and end-all. It is not something you want to strive for or aim for, or it's not your target. ITIL is the natural way of doing things, because on the outside things are changing faster and faster. The only way you can keep up with that change is to have structure and discipline in-house, within your organization, and that is both in business and IT, because as I said earlier, it's really difficult to identify the differences between business and IT. So you need to figure out where your ITIL processes interlink in your business processes, and whether or not you need a separate ITIL process for this. I mean, the whole skill level within capacity management for your resources. Do you really need to have a separate process for IT resources, human resources, as opposed to non-IT human resources? Does information security management really require a complete separate set of systems and processes as opposed to the business? Because they have information, isn't it their data? And you know, so ITIL is definitely important, but when you just focus on ITIL for ITIL's sake, it is focusing on the past and not the future. So that's where ITIL completely misses the boat in my view. The service desk philosophy of the future, it's either going to be self-help or a concierge. Those are the only two choices. And in this presentation, you know, I've been building up like, this is what the consumer wants. They want it instantaneously. They want it now. It has to be good. It shouldn't slow them down. So if you need a service desk after you've gone through self-service, we as an IT organization have failed. The concierge side of the business, that's different, because that's service desk as a full service experience. That is top notch. Yes, it's expensive, but that's part of our service delivery. So think of self-service as the back of house. So this is where ITIL comes into play. All the ITIL processes that you need to have humming and buzzing and just like a smoothly oiled machine, where you focus on your processes, functions and technology to support the service delivery. That's where you do your housekeeping. That's where you do your architecture and what things look like and how stable everything has to be, your maintenance and your supplier contracts. But your full service desk, your front of house, your concierge service, that's your butler. That's all about the service experience. That's the VIP, top of the range, always available. So yes, availability, capacity, all those processes, all the back of house stuff is important, but there is a step ahead of that. That is the concierge. The concierge service uses the self-service and uses all the technology and all the skills within the IT organization, but it's a separate service because it's all about convenience. So some examples of organizations that utilize either a self-service or a concierge service: Amazon, as a consumer, pretty much 99% self-service. If you need to call the service desk because you haven't been able to figure it out yourself, the processes have failed. Google, 100%. You can't even get on the phone with a service desk person. Apple, about 50-50. I would say the concierge service would be the Genius Bar for the consumer electronics. Zappos, mostly concierge. That's their delivery model. That's their service model. Rackspace, 50-50. Yes, their marketing is all around the concierge service, you know, but reality is that there's a lot of self-service in there as well. Lexus, 100% concierge service. There's no self-service. You don't even have to think. You just have to drive the car. Well, unless it gets recalled. But let's not talk about that. So how do you set it up? Steps in setting up the modern help desk. First of all, what can you automate? What are the activities that we can automate? And if we can't automate it, leave it up to systems. What can we outsource to external AI applications? So which part of the service desk can we outsource to artificial intelligence to have that interaction? If we can't do that, what can we outsource to a BPO or call center, or keep it internally? So this is the self-service component of your help desk. Outsourcing to a BPO call center doesn't necessarily mean overseas. It could be onshore as well. And then you have your internal help desk, which could be your concierge level services that utilizes the self-service component to find the best solution for you. So hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight in my observations, my thoughts and ideas around service desk, help desk, where things are going when you look out of the front window of the car. Don't look into the rear view mirror, people. You know, for those of you who drive cars, it's dangerous. Don't do it. Okay, that's really all the time we have. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being part of this, and feel free to contact me. I mean, all the information is on this slide. There's my Twitter handle, there's my email address. Have a chat. Check in. We do have live chat, not now because I'm, you know, talking to you guys. But yeah, I've got to practice what we preach. So, bye for now. I'll talk to you next time, and have a lovely, wonderful day. Thank you.